All right, how's it going, everybody? How's it going? Good to see you. This is Peter Cimetti here, founder publisher of Alternate Comics and King Cryptid creator. I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, so I don't know how long this is going to go. Maybe an hour, maybe a little more than that. We have a lot going on. We've got campaign launches. I have to talk to you guys about the reprint books. I have to talk to you guys about it. Came out on a Wednesday, coming back. We've got lower pricing now on the Alterna All-Star memberships, including a yearly option as opposed to just a monthly option, and all kinds of other odds and ends. But the main point of tonight's show, I'm going to be going over the FundMyComic and Kickstarter campaigns for King Cryptid 10 to 13 and Blood Moon. I'm having a combo campaign, identical in many ways, but different in some because of the platforms. Now, you can't get Blood Moon on Indiegogo at this point, and Blood Moon is currently being worked on and being put together. King Cryptid 10 to 13 right now is on Indiegogo. Blood Moon can only be bought right now on the Alterna site. It can't be bought on Indiegogo. So it's a little confusing, probably. So bear with me. The only reason I put these on multiple platforms, and I think in the future I'm going to kind of just do like a simultaneous launch, to be honest, if I do anything like that. The reason I'm putting it on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter is because people have asked. People, they like to shop where they like to shop. So, I'm putting them on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter because people have asked, and also because I've had a catch-up campaign of 1 to 9 on King Cryptid on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter before. And even though you can get these items, nothing is different. The price isn't different. Nothing like that is different, really. But even though you can get these items on the Alterna site, people like to back on the platform that they like to back on. So that's why these are listed right now on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter. And we launched these earlier today at noon Eastern time. Right now it's 9 Eastern time. And I'll go over the campaigns and also talk about some of the differences of those platforms too, just in case people are curious about such things. So before I get started with all the stuff we have to talk about tonight, we got the darker half here. How's it going? Gray Wolf in the chat too. What's up? Jefferson Roswell is here. How's it going, Jefferson? Wayne's in the chat as well. What's up, Wayne? We got Brian here. And also we got Bretsky here too. Awesome. Thank you guys both for being here. Thank you all for being here. So I guess where should we start first? We'll start with, I guess, the launch stream. Let me bring up those screens. There's so much going on. It's a lot going on. It's got my head spinning. All right. And so let's see here. All right. So there it is. You can see that's the FundMyComic. That's the FundMyComic. And right now there's just one backer on there. The King Cryptid campaign, number 10 to 13 and Blood Moon, is what's currently on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter. Now the Kickstarter one, we got 6 backers on there right now. Now I kind of expect Kickstarter to honestly bring in more backers. When I did this before with the catch-up campaign for 1 to 9 on King Cryptid, it was something like, I think like 35 backers or something on Kickstarter compared to maybe like 12 or 15 or something like that. It was almost a ratio of like 1 to 3 in terms of the backers. And I kind of think we're going to hit that again on here. I would love to see FundMyComic getting more attention, more backers and that kind of stuff. But, again, people are going to want to go back where they want to go back. And I'm very grateful for wherever anyone decides to go, to be perfectly honest. I'm not trying to pressure you to go and on a platform that maybe you don't want to go on, you don't have an account on, it's not, easy for you, whatever it might be. Uh, but I do want people to bear in mind too, like these are all this is basically like a second chance campaign essentially before these things really start getting put into production and everything else. It's kind of a last chance to get some stuff. Now, the biggest difference on these as opposed to the previous campaigns, these are just book centric. It's a very pared down campaign. Let me show you just running through the rewards on Kickstarter here. There's a subscription omnibus. Now that's almost 900 pages of story. So it's right here, and it's $105. So 105, and you get this is like the deep dive for people who are maybe relatively new to King Cryptid and Blood Realm, and of course Blood Moon at that point. But maybe it really sounds good to you, and you want to just jump right in and get every possible thing you can think of. This is kind of it in terms of like the story. So Blood Moon takes place after King Cryptid number 9 and Blood Realm 18, both of which are now out and available. But on this campaign here with the subscription omnibus, you get the first 13 issues of King Cryptid. You get the first 18 issues of Blood Realm, because we are going back to print with issue 8. So we'll have all the single issues now of Blood Realm again. And then you get the Vargor trading card, the Victor Lugo trading card, which were bonuses on the King Cryptid campaign and on the Blood Moon campaign. And then you get the Blood Moon graphic novel. We only have the Blood Moon graphic novel cover A on these campaigns. Covers B, C, and D, their time is done. We're not offering those again. In many cases, probably ever again. And even if we have some extras, maybe we'll put them up on the Alterna site, but that's it. So we're not taking orders for those anymore. So it's just for cover A. But you would get like 900 pages of story for about $100, which is incredible. So that's a really good deal if you want to just dive right in. But again, the pricing's all accurate to what you could get even on the Alterna site, or if you back the previous campaigns. There's nothing different if you've already backed these campaigns. There's nothing different that's being offered. I know some people are like, maybe you put a variant on this, a variant on that. No. Yeah, maybe that costs me some backers or whatever if you're a backer on the previous campaigns and you'd like to have backed again. But that's not what this is for. This is for people who, maybe they didn't want to get on Indiegogo because they don't like to buy on that platform. Maybe they don't want to buy it on the Alterna site directly on alternacomics.com because same reason, maybe they just don't want to do that. So maybe they only really want to support something that's on Kickstarter or on FundMyComic. That's literally what this stuff is for. It's a very trimmed down campaign. It's just the books. So here we have the digital option. Now you could get the digital option for $5. Same thing as you would on the Alterna site or on the King Cryptid campaign that's currently up and running on Indiegogo. And you get issues 10 to 13 there. The graphic novel, the digital graphic novel, and these are PDF downloads. $10 for Blood Moon. Same thing that was being offered on the campaign. Same thing that's offered on the Alterna site. I'm not going to say that anymore during the course of this because it's all the same pricing. There's no special pricing here for these campaigns. It's just about offering this on a different platform. So you got King Cryptid 10 to 13. These are single issues in print, of course. So $15. I signed the issues, and you also get a Victor Lugo trading card. Victor Lugo, the Cryptid Hunter, one of the main villains in the King Cryptid series. Blood Moon, the graphic novel, and you get a trading card of Vargor. Vargor is the big bad. He's the super villain there in Blood Moon. And you get this graphic novel and trading card for $25. And I'm going to sign the graphic novel. If you do want an option to have Robert Geronimo and Kier Covington sign it as well, you can have that as well. It's an add-on for $10. Same as it was on the other sites. I said I wasn't going to say that. I just did. Sorry. So we have that as an option as well if you want to add on their signatures too. The reason it's $10 is because they have to ship it. I got to ship it to Rob. Rob's got to ship it to Kier. Kier's got to ship it to me. So the $10 covers shipping for that to happen. Then we got King Cryptid 10 to 13 and the Blood Moon combo. So this, you save some time and some shipping if you get them both together. And then we got the first 13 issues of King Cryptid, and that's $40. And we got the first 18 issues of Blood Realm, and that also is $40. Why are the first 18 issues 40? Why are the first 13 issues 40? The cover prices are different throughout the course of the series, so that's the biggest reason why. So that's kind of a pretty simple campaign. Now, a huge difference on Kickstarter as opposed to on FundMyComic is, and this is kind of unfortunate, but Kickstarter has options for add-ons. FundMyComic still does not. I wish they were gonna have something like that, but I don't know if they're gonna. But they don't, not right now anyway. So there's no add-on options for FundMyComic. Maybe one day there will be. But even this Kickstarter, it's kind of intuitive because, like, for a digital option, they're not gonna they automatically put all the add-ons for every single perk, every single reward. But on the digital options, they only count those perks, those rewards that don't have to be shipped, which are generally going to be digital options. So they're kind of intuitive about that. Whereas, like on Indiegogo, you have to pair everything up. So it's kind of cool where you get to pick and choose on Indiegogo what you want to do to pair up. Now, FundMyComic does not have an add-on option, so I'm not going to go through what they don't have. But in this respect, on Indiegogo with the add-ons, you have to link the add-ons and create them separately, similar to what you would do on Kickstarter. And then you would link them up on Indiegogo to the main perk of what it would correlate to. So if you have a digital reward as your main perk, and then you've got stuff you have to ship and you added them accidentally, people will end up getting either discounted or maybe sometimes even free shipping because of that. So that's a big difference. What happens with this is you don't really have to worry about that kind of thing occurring, which is kind of nice. But the thing that isn't as nice is if you do want to have specific add-ons that only work with the perks, the specific perks, you really can't do that with Kickstarter. So Kickstarter, it kind of is a blanket scenario of there's the add-ons and that's it. You can't customize it past that. But again, FundMyComic does not have that. That's the biggest difference. And then the other big difference between the two, and let me go back to FundMyComic for a second here. It looks like we picked up a 7th backer. That's awesome. I like the way that Kickstarter has the real-time updating. You don't have to refresh and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Both Indiegogo and FundMyComic do not have that. And that's an obvious one for anyone who's ever using these campaign platforms. You'll notice that right away. Even if you're a backer, you'll notice that. So on FundMyComic, now we got one backer on there, and very grateful for that one backer. Of course, I'm grateful for any backers we get, but there is a big difference with the shipping aspect of it. And I know you can create a shipping discount code and all that other kind of stuff, but so because of the fact that the shipping is kind of weird on here, I did my best to instead put bundles together, because you can't do add-ons, and I don't necessarily want you going back multiple times and then you would pay multiple shipping, or purchase 4 or 5 things and get charged shipping 4 or 5 times. So the add-on signatures, there's an option here. You can get that. That's $50. And then you got this other one here. There is no add-on signatures. It's just $40. So that's the minus $10 of that. I do like how on FundMyComic you can specify the order of the items, of the rewards, the perks that you offer up. So you can choose to have something. It's not like monetarily the way Kickstarter and Indiegogo work. Kickstarter and Indiegogo will both allow you to put one featured perk, and then everything else gets listed monetarily in the order of how it goes up, 3, 5, 10, et cetera, and it runs down the line. FundMyComic, you can actually go in there and say, what if I want my $3 perk or whatever at the bottom, and I want my $50 perk at the top? You can actually do it like that, which is nice. And that's something that neither Kickstarter or Indiegogo offer. And I think that's really cool because you can also bundle things accordingly. There's a lot of campaigns where sometimes it feels like, you run through it, and I know when I'm putting mine together, I'm like, I wish I could put these perks together because they make more sense being seen in a row. But you can't do that because they're different price, and it'll bump it up to wherever the space it needs to be based on how much that's priced at. But on FundMyComic, you could do that. You can arrange it in order so that you can have it play out that way, and you give a little more control over that aspect of it. So I really like that aspect of it. I think if FundMyComic could do two things, which is take care of like the combination of like when you add to cart essentially, and then give you one shipping option. You don't have to do a code. You don't have to do anything confusing, both for the customer and the project creator. If they could do that, and if they could do some kind of system for add-ons, especially if they could do a system for add-ons, which neither Kickstarter or Indiegogo has, which is this. If they could, and I've talked to a lot of the project creators and a lot of backers that they would all love this kind of a thing. So if you had an inventory pool of your items on the campaign, 50 of that, 20 of that, 100 of that, unlimited of this, whatever that may be. And then you get to put these bundles together, or you get to have these as add on options, or whatever it may be. And as things get purchased, it takes whatever that amount is that was purchased off of the overall inventory. Um, they kind of have something like that, but it's not really like that, especially when it comes to just items that go into add-ons. You got to specify an amount for add-ons, you got to specify an amount for the main perk. You're not just specifying one total amount and then saying that could be an add-on, that could be a main perk, and they all take collectively from the same source of inventory. And if FundMyComic was able to do that, and I don't know the first thing about how to code any of this crap, so I can't give them any kind of suggestions. And I mean, hell, God bless them for doing what they're doing anyway, because I wouldn't know where to start. Um, but if they could figure out a way to do something like that, that would, I think, give them an advantage over both Kickstarter and Indiegogo in terms of that interface, especially when it comes to keeping that inventory checked. Because I know that there's sometimes I'm running a campaign or I'm back in a campaign, and the project manager or me, if I'm running the campaign, you kind of lose track of your inventory because you're putting things in bundles, you're putting things in as add-ons, you've got things as a main perk, and it turns into like, okay, I want to offer 50 as a main perk, and then you're like, oh crap, I want to offer this as an add-on too. Well, what do I do? Do I take 10? Do I take 20 and then shift it 30, 20, 40, 10? If you're only making 50, let's say, of something, you got to figure out how that works. And then you're rolling the dice because maybe you then sell out of it as an add-on, but you still have a lot of them as a main perk. And now you got to keep juggling that around. If there was a way at all to make it more a la carte store like in terms of experience, and this is something I think across the board I've seen over the years since crowdfunding was just coming onto the scene, is that people were always talking about, I wish it was more like a store experience where you could just add items to a cart, essentially creating your own bundle. You wouldn't have to have add-ons, you wouldn't have to have, you know, pre preconceived bundles. You could just have the items, and people could run through and just pick what they want, add it to a cart, and then go. And then those items would all be inventoried. If there was a way to do something like that, I think that would be great. That's my one splitting hairs, but that's not a FundMyComic thing. That's a across the board kind of a thing. All the platforms do it essentially like that. So those are pretty much the two biggest differences between FundMyComic and Kickstarter is the lack of add-on features for FundMyComic. They don't have any, and then the way shipping is treated. Shipping is treated as a combined kind of a thing per contribution on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo, but on FundMyComic, if you pick like 3 different perks, rewards, items, whatever, you're going to get hit with shipping unless you've got some kind of a code or a code was created where you could negate that extra shipping. And it kind of adds an extra step. I've never used that step because honestly, I can't really even figure out how. I'm not the smartest guy alive, but I'm not the dumbest. And I still look at it and I go, that seems like I'm going to have to put that in there. I'm going to have to create that. I'm going to have to make sure that it's on every single perk mentioning, hey, use this code and then you'll get the shipping. And I know people aren't gonna because you're not used to that. You're not used to having to do a code like that on a crowdfunding platform. So anyway, I like them both. I think they both have a lot of pros and a couple of cons, but nothing too crazy, nothing that should really deter you. Again, the way that I went around the shipping situation on FundMyComic for this campaign in particular is to just have it set up where I made bundles for you guys. And if you wanted to check that out, hopefully that works out for you. Everything is there in terms of the books and whatnot, and you can just pick them all up the same way that you could pick them up on Kickstarter. You just kind of can't customize your experience and your cart past that point the way that you can on Kickstarter or on Indiegogo or definitely on the Alterna site. On the Alterna site, it's 100% treated like a storefront because that's basically what it is. And that runs through things differently. You can pick and choose. There's quantity you could pick up, all that kind of stuff. You can adjust quantity. You can add to your cart. So there's full customization, probably like 99% there. There's things on the Alterna site I wish we could do that we still can't because we're kind of at the mercy of the provider of the site. The way that they build it, the way that they have their store set up, all that kind of thing. And I don't know how to code for the life of me, and I'm not about to pay for it either. So this gives me like 99% of what I'd like to do. The biggest thing I would like to do that I can't do on this site is customize shipping, pricing, and itemize it. So I got to just do like blanketed shipping for the region, the country, the item, whatever. Obviously there's no shipping on a digital item, but everything else, it's the same shipping charge. It all gets lumped in, and that's what it is. And then sometimes there's things like trading cards where it's like, I don't want to charge you guys $7. It doesn't need to be $7, but I would hope that instead of just going in there and buying like one trading card and then paying $7 shipping, that you actually would buy a couple other things too. Not an ideal scenario to wish for that, I suppose, but at the same time, that's all we can do. But that's the thing that I would like to do for this site at some point in time. I've asked them if they're ever going to have like an itemized shipping where I can actually just do specific shipping for each item, similar to like eBay. Like on eBay, you go there, you put up your listing, and you can either have shipping be the same thing for everything you sell, or you can actually have it be different for each single item because every single listing is treated differently. But there's nothing like that we could do with this site. And that's my one biggest thing with this site as far as the functionality of it. So before I dive past the whole everything I need to talk about with what's going on with Alterna reprints, and it came out on a Wednesday and everything else like that, I'm going to take a look at the chat here and see what's what, see what we got. Let's see here. So I'm scrolling back up. We got Jefferson saying it's great that you can reprint issues as needed since you're printing them in-house yourself. Yeah, I love that. And I really love how they come. I got to show you guys a test print I did for one of the backers on the new campaign. I'm not going to show you the book. I'm just going to show you the test print I do. I always do a test print first before I run through an entire book just to reduce paper waste. And this was printed. The book is called Wingless. It's by John. I believe his name is John Schell. He's either John Schell or John Skell, but I'm pretty sure it's Schell. Schell. But the book is called Wingless. Right now, I'm pretty sure he's got something going on. I think on like Kickstarter, and it's a real nice looking book. He's going to be on the show tomorrow, so I'll ask him tomorrow on how to pronounce his name, unless he's watching tonight and wants to give me a heads up in the chat. But it printed so good. I'll just show you guys now. I'll show you guys now where I'm talking about it. So this is the book. It's called Wingless. It's a nice, I guess you could say it's an all ages book. I think it's appropriate for all ages. It gets a little dark here, but it's kind of like, Secret of Nim, Don Bluthian kind of darkness to it, which is good in terms of theme, not in terms of art, the dark nature of it, I mean. But this came out really nice. This is a test print for it. People say, oh, you can't do this kind of book on newsprint. I guess we're just doing the impossible over here. So this is like a higher grade newsprint, of course, but still, you just have to know how to set the files and the colors and whatnot. And John opted to have me do the pre-press for him. And so there you go. You get a great looking printed piece. So he ordered the on the campaign the print your sampler option, which means print his sampler. So I'm printing just a sample of his book, a one and done, and then shipping that out to him. And it came out really nice, really nice. I'm really happy with the way it printed. The darker half says, "Lucky I'm at home, sick today." Well, I mean, is that really lucky? I hope you're not too sick. Hope you're feeling okay enough. I guess you must be since you're joining us. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. We also got Comics for Life here. What's up, Comics for Life? Let's see. Spicer says, have a great launch, Brother Pete. I appreciate it, Spicer. Thank you, man. Reverend Saber. What's up, Reverend Saber? Good to see you. And we got Kier Covington in the chat. What's up, Kier? Good to see you as well. Ink on Paper saying hello. What's up, Ink on Paper? Darker Half says, threw you $10. Oh, so you're backer number 7 on Kickstarter? I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Apple Grizzly says, finally caught a Samedi live stream. You've caught a bunch of them before, right? I swear you have. Well, good to have you either way. Let's see. Shifter says, how's the gear running? Okay. Hey, Critical Reads. That's the guy that I was just talking about, Wingless. He says you got it right. Said like Shell. All right, Shell. Yeah, I thought so. And yeah, I agree. It looks great. And honestly, I couldn't help it, right? You sent me the book. And I'll talk to you about this more tomorrow night when you're on the show as a guest on my comic book radio channel, because this is simulcasting right now to the Alterna channel and to the comic book radio channel. John will be a guest tomorrow night on the comic book radio channel. But you sent me the book. It looked nice. It looks really nice. So, you got my interest. I was reading it, and I think you did a great job. I don't say this a lot anymore about a lot of books, which is unfortunate, but it's pretty damn good. I gotta say, and I think for an all ages book, especially, it really hit the right notes. You got a character in there that you want to root for, and they're put in such a bad situation. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll let John do that if he chooses to tomorrow. And then you want to know, how do they overcome that? He ends it on a really good cliffhanger. And if you guys haven't, what issue number is that number 1, John? Let them know in the chat, I guess, and let me know too if I completely didn't catch that. But it was really good, really well done. And I'm looking forward to talking with you tomorrow night about it. Jefferson says colors look great. I like those different shades of green in the trees. Yeah, the art is top notch. That's for sure. But everything else about it is solid. The lettering is solid. The writing is solid. The dialogue, the characterizations are there. It's really really nice. Really nice. Kevin says I watched Nim just the other night. Such a good movie. Yeah. Well, if you haven't had a chance to back that yet, hopefully you watch the show tomorrow night, and John will be on, and he'll talk more about his book, far better in his articulation of it, I'm sure, than I could possibly be. Citizen Ronan, what's up, Citizen Ronan? Good to see you. We got Frederick here too. What's up, Frederick? Let's see. Citizen says, I don't watch to catch anything. Simedi. Do you mean you don't want to catch anything? Help me out there. Critical Reads, that's John right there. Says I appreciate that. Yes, it's issue 1. Yeah. It's really well done. Really well done. And we'll hear more from him. We'll hear more from him tomorrow. Again, because he's going to be on the show 9:00 Eastern. Okay, so let me go back to the Alterna site. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on. We got issues going back to print. We got 6 issues that are going back to print. Let me see if I can pull those up right here. So right there, back to print. New printings of 6 issues available for pre-order on August 27th. I can't believe it's already September 3rd. Now, because it's a new month, I already gifted memberships. I gifted memberships on the Alterna channel, and I gifted memberships on my channel. 10 of those to each channel went out before the show started. If you received one, fantastic. You get to use the emojis and whatnot for a month. And then your membership, you can continue it if you want. It's 99 cents a month. And if not, that's fine too. But 10 people got memberships from both the Comic Book Radio channel and the Alterna Comics channel. Now, the book's going back to print. We haven't had some of these go back to print ever. So this is the first time they're ever going back to print. And the reason we could do this is because of our in-house printing capability now. So we got the actual Roger number 5, Blood Realm number 8, Swan King, the one-shot, Tinseltown Losing the Light number 1. These are all going back to print for the first time, and they're second printings. Then we got the Chair number 4, which is a 4th printing, and we've got Trespasser number 4, which is a 3rd printing. So if you haven't had a chance to pick these up yet, if you're missing these at all in your collection, or if you got the mini series of something but you're missing an issue, feel free to pick one up. The actual Roger is $3.99 because that's like a 40 or so pager. The rest are like 24 to 28 pages. And we got Blood Realm number 8, which is formerly known as Blood Realm Volume 3, number 2. So if you haven't had a chance to get these yet, I really recommend that you do. They're $2.99 a piece, other than the actual Roger, which is $3.99 again, because that's a bigger issue. Swan King and the Chair are black and white. The others are in color. Blood Realm's red, black, and white, if you know that. You've been reading it, that's why. But the rest are in full color. So feel free, go to alternacomics.com, pick those up. You can go to the pre-order, or you can go right there, right on the home page. And then also it came out on a Wednesday, finally coming back. So let me see if I can share. I haven't shared these yet. Oh, maybe I could do this. Okay, so it came out on a Wednesday. Number 22 and 23 are coming back, available for order on October 8th. And I'm going to have, because people have requested it, I'm going to have it be available for order on the Alterna site, on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, and I'm hoping FundMyComic. I know FundMyComic has some kind of a specification there with, you can only really, like, they'll limit you with the campaigns you can do because some are maybe open or unfulfilled or however it may be. Either way, I'm going to try to do on FundMyComic too. But I'm going to put, it came out on a Wednesday, 22 and 23, along with the reprinted issues on those platforms as well. Because again, even though we have these available, they'll be on the Alterna site some people don't want to order from the alternate site. Some people want to order from those crowdfunding platforms. That's what I've seen over the years. I'm not going to question it. It just is what it is. So we'll have those campaigns launching on October 8th, which will include obviously the newest issues if it came out on a Wednesday. Now, issue 22 features a Robert Geronimo cover. That's that big red monster there. Issue 23, and I still don't know this dude's last name properly. Richard Stank? Stanky? Stank? I think it's Stunk because it's Stahnke. Anyway, Richard did a great job with this pumpkin-headed dude. It's on the cover of issue 23. So we got issues 22 and 23. That's going to be the new. It came out in a Wednesday issues. We're going to have 24 and 25 eventually in a couple months too. I'm getting stories for those right now. And 25 is the one that is going to feature that cover that I made a few months back with Granite Beast and Brug knocking each other out. And then 24, it's going to be a different cover right now. I'm in the process of securing it. So 22 and 23 will be out in November and fulfilling in November. And the reason we could do that is because I could just print those up right here. Isn't that beautiful? Really, really short production time. Wait time for you guys, even shorter. I also have Hall of Fame issues being printed right now, and the remastered books go to print in 2 weeks. So we got a lot going on. A remastered wave 2, that is. So it came out on a Wednesday, 22 and 23. This is a comic anthology series. Usually has stories for horror, sci-fi, fantasy fans out there. You get about 3 or 4 short stories per issue. They're usually between 28 to 32 pages in length. So these will be available on October 8th to pre-order on the alternate site. But also, if you want to contribute instead and go to a crowdfunding platform, you could do that again. Like I said, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, FundMyComic. Right now on this, what I'm showing you is on the advertising page on our site. We have advertising spots available. So advertising, if you want to get a full pager, they're $20 a piece. These ads would be due on November 1st. November 1st, we absolutely need them because these are going to print and fulfilling in November. So you can get a full page ad in either issue, $20 for that full page. That's incredible. That's a very, very affordable price. If somebody does want to purchase one of those ads, I'm going to put that link right there in the chat. Then we got inside back covers. And the pricing is the same for both issues. Inside back cover priced at $35. Inside front cover priced at $50. Back cover priced at $75. If you notice, this is a discount from what it was before. That's because of the in-house printing. So we can make advertising priced a little bit lower for you guys. If you do want to get these, make sure you get them as soon as you possibly can, because there's only, I think, 3 or 4 of the full pagers. And then everything else is just one of, so there's only just one back cover, one inside front cover, etc. When it's sold, it's sold. It's gone. So that's the advertising that we have available right now for those issues. Again, the ad is due November 1st. Before I jump into the next part of what I wanted to talk to you guys about, let me check with the chat again. Corey is saying, that's where my membership came from. Yeah, so you must have been one of the people that got a gifted membership. There you go. Enjoy it. Wayne says, no more gold, silver, bronze, alternate logos for printings. Yeah, no more of that. No more of that. We'll still have, I'm still going to avoid those colors to make confusion not a thing for you guys, but it's going to predominantly be like a red, black, blue, whatever it is kind of logo that would go with the predominant color of the cover. But no more of those for the to denote the printing. The printing will actually be mentioned instead in Roman numerals in the corner box. AL says, good evening, AL. And also the printing will be specified in the legal indicia that's printed in the book. So if you want to even check that, you can open up the book at this point and check it, and you can see, is it a first printing, is it a second printing, third, whatever it may be. It'll match that Roman numeral. Or if it's a first printing, lack thereof. There will be no Roman numeral. It came out on a Wednesday, does not go back to print because of rights issues for the short stories. We go to print once and then that's it. When it sells out, it sells out. So make sure that even in this scenario too, I'm going to only print a certain amount of extras based on what we get for pre-orders. So even though it's like, oh, Pete can just print whatever he wants whenever he wants, not necessarily still. So we're only going to print a certain amount of these copies because even when it comes to this, right, we outsource covers. So the covers go and get printed elsewhere. I don't print covers in-house. The covers go get printed commercially. And then I get the covers, and then the covers get assembled with the books here. So I only print a certain amount of covers. And that's what determines the print run size. And what determines the print run size as well is the pre-order. So whatever you guys order, like if 200 copies get ordered, and I need, let's say I need to order 400 because of comps that go to creators or whatever it may be. So I'll put like a 500 run through, and then that'll be considered that printing for it came out on a Wednesday. And once those sell out, they sell out. We don't go back to print with it came out in a Wednesday books. So that's the reason that we only have, I think, issues 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 right now in stock. 1 to 9 completely sold out at Alterna. You could probably find them on eBay. You could probably find them at a comic shop if they do have them. And then we don't have issues 12, 13, or 14. So if you're looking for anything that you don't see on the Alterna site, I recommend looking elsewhere because we're just not going to have it came out in a Wednesday books back in print. So don't think that just because we can go back to print that we'll go back to print with everything. We can only go back to print with what we have the rights to go back to print with. Let's see. We got Corey saying, I have successfully ordered and received multiple items from the Alterna site. Well, thank you, Corey. Yeah, I wish everybody would just go to the Alterna site. Like if I had to be completely honest about this, I wish everyone would just go to the Alterna site, sign up here for rewards. Like if you go here, I'm going to put the link here just in case you guys don't even know. Maybe you guys don't know. Right. So if you sign up, and this is free, sign up for Alterna rewards. You get 100 Alterna coins to start. You can trade in those 100 Alterna coins immediately for a 10% coupon if you want, or you can compile them. So you get one Alterna coin for every $1 you spend. So there's 15% off coupon for 200 Alterna coins, 20% off coupon for 300 Alterna coins, 30% off coupon for 400 Alterna coins, and a 40% off coupon for 500 Alterna coins. And that's your entire order. And there's no, some things, yes, some things, no. When you redeem Alterna coins, when you redeem these points, you redeem them off of your entire order. So like you could order everything off of the whole entire site if you wanted, and you got a 40% off Alterna coin redemption coupon, and then you would then get 40% off of that entire order. I don't know how much that would be. I don't know. You save like $700 or something. I don't know what the entirety of 350 items or something is on the Alterna site, but you'd save a lot. But that's to the extent of how powerful these redemption coupons are. Now that's a big reason that I would love to see people order and go through the Alterna site, is because if you sign up for the Alterna rewards, it's free. This is different from the Alterna All-Star membership, which gives you all these other benefits that you would pay for. But if you sign up for the Alterna rewards, you get those 100 Alterna coins, and you can start accumulating points that go towards coupon redemptions to give you discounts on future orders. It's a win-win. And the same thing here. If you sign up for our newsletter, we're going to give you 10 free digital comics as well. So there's all kinds of different things going on at the Alterna site where I really wish people would give it a shot, give it a try before they consider just only sticking to crowdfunding platforms. I'm going to put them on crowdfunding platforms until we just hit a zero and no backers on the crowdfunding platforms. They'll keep on going on there until that day comes. But I want people to go to the Alterna site, at least check it out, sign up, get that newsletter with the 10 free digital comics, get your Alterna coin redemption, save 10% on an order, build up points as you purchase anything on here. You don't build up points when you do crowdfunding. There's no Kickstarter points or Indiegogo points or whatever. But on the Alterna site, you get that, and then you can redeem those discounts. Let's see here. AL says, sorry, I might have missed this, but can I get King Cryptid 10 to 13 on the Alterna site or only on FundMyComic? You can get it on the Alterna site too. It's still available on there. So let me show you. You can get Blood Moon on there too. So King Cryptid is still funding on, and this is where we're at. We're at 17,592. We're still funding. We're still creating the books. We got 443 backers on board in total. I'm going to have to update those totals based on the current campaigns that are going on FundMyComic and on Kickstarter. But you can still get all that stuff right here. We got the embroidered hat. That's $15 right now. You can pick that up. We got all kinds of different things. The king size campaign subscription, you get one of everything new. That's $375. The Super Moon bundle, you get all the full moon specials. That's $115. You can get the books with the glow in the dark variant. That's $35. We don't have the glow in the dark variant on the Kickstarter and on FundMyComic. That's just being available right now on Indiegogo and on the Alterna site. If you want just the issues, 10 to 13, that's $15, and so on and so forth. Everything is on there. The collector box, all that stuff. So if you go to the Alterna site, if you go to the Indiegogo, you're going to see a broader campaign for King Cryptid 10 to 13. On FundMyComic and on Kickstarter, it's a pared down campaign, just trimmed to the books. So just the books of Blood Moon, King Cryptid 10 to 13, even the other King Cryptid back issues, we have those on there. We got Blood Realm back issues too, of 1 to 18. And hopefully you guys have received your Blood Realm 15 to 18 books if you back those. If you haven't had a chance yet to get those or pick those up on the campaign that Rob did, you can get them on the Alterna site. They're in the new releases section. So you can see 15 to 18, $225 a piece in the new releases section. And then we got a couple of Wave 1 remastered books still here too. So if you missed the Wave 1 remastered line, they're selling out. All of them are very, very close to selling out, between 1 to like 3 copies left of each. And then that's it. We don't go back to print with these ever again. It's the first and only printing on the remastered books. You can pick those up if you missed them, and that's in the new releases section. But yeah, so we got all kinds of different stuff on the Alterna site. If you've missed anything, feel free. Check it out. You could search for something if you're looking for a specific title, whatever that may be. Before I dive into the new All-Star plan, we got Ben here. What's up, Ben? Good to see you. We also got Hojo here too. How's it going? Let's see. Comic Slice says also, is fan art still accepted for King Cryptid? Oh, fan art's always accepted for King Cryptid. So if you want to send me some fan art, send it my way. Get in touch with me on social media, or email me at pete@alternacomics.com and send in a high resolution scan of the fan art, and I can put that into one of the upcoming issues of King Cryptid. Let's see. AL says, the ad only on FundMyComics. No, the ads are on alternacomics.com/advertising. That's where you can get ads. You can't get ads anywhere else. We don't do advertising anymore for perks on Indiegogo or crowdfunding platforms or anything like that. All the advertising is available only on the Alterna site. Cicada Sonic says, that Wednesday looks incredible. I'm pumped to dive into the 5 Alterna Ween bundles so I can determine which titles I require more of. Well, there you go. Let's see here. We also got Bretsky the Great says, just ordered some advertising. Woo, woo. There you go, Bretsky. I'm glad you're able to pick some up. And, always appreciated, not just you, but everybody that advertises in our books. You guys help to make these books possible. And Bretsky, looking forward to seeing more. I'm guessing more Hugh Jengus. We got Ben. I already said hello to Ben. I'll say hello again. There you are. Okay, so the Alterna All-Star membership. Before, this was $15 a month. Nothing's really changed about what's being offered here. It just makes sense at this point in time to look at it and go, yeah, let's lower this. That was really the thinking. Let's lower this to $9 a month. And then let's give an annual plan at $96 a year. So $96 a year turns it into $8 a month. So it's a $12 a year savings. If you're someone that's going to be an Alterna All-Star for a year, instead of paying monthly, you can just buy in one shot the annual plan and save $12. And that's essentially going to give you a whole bunch of things here. So both memberships come with the exact same perks. You get unlimited free shipping promo code. So this is a promo code that you can use a million times. You can use an infinite amount of times, and you get free shipping every time you use that promo code. It's a specific promo code tailored for you, and you put that through when you check out, and you get free shipping. This is only in the U.S. Sorry, Canada, everybody else. I can't offer you shipping for free. I wish I could. You get unlimited free digital comics with a promo code as well. So again, this is for both the annual and the monthly. I'm going to put the link here in case anyone wants to become a Alterna or an Alterna All-Star, I should say, an Alterna All-Star. For people who are already Alterna All-Stars, your next billing cycle, the next time you get billed on the monthly basis, you're going to have it reduced automatically from $15 to $9. So if you want to be an annual member and save that money, what you can do is cancel your monthly membership and then sign up and pay for the annual membership. And that's just one time, one charge, once a year, and that'll renew until you cancel it. And you can cancel these things every time, anytime you want. So even on the monthly, you can just purchase a month. If you think, okay, I'm going to get a lot of stuff this month from the Alterna site, I could use that free shipping code, and all those purchases, I want them to get bagged and boarded without paying extra for bags and boards. You can just get that 1 month and then cancel it. Or you can stick with it if you want. But you don't have to have it every single month if you don't want to have it every single month. And if you think you're going to have it for the entirety of a year, you should go with the $96 plan. So you get a bonus comic with every comic order. And also with that unlimited digital comics code, you get every single digital comic for free with that code. You can just go through the whole site, punch in every single one of those, add them to your cart, and then use that code and you get them for free. You get a bonus comic with every comic order. You get every comic order bagged and boarded. And you get access to members-only exclusive items, which is click here to access all-star exclusives. See, you'll notice I click on that. I need to log in. All right. If you're an all-star member, you click on that. You go right in there, and you can get all kinds of different exclusive items that we don't generally sell to just about anybody. Then you can also get monthly promo codes and secret sales. So every single month, Alterna All-Stars get a secret sale or promo code given to them. Sometimes it's as much as like 50% off, maybe 30% off an entire order, maybe buy one, get one. Like we do all kinds of different promo codes that are specifically only emailed and sent out to Alterna All-Stars. And that's for the $9 a month. You get all that stuff. So if you're someone who, you're getting stuff from Alterna several times a year, between this and the Alterna rewards, which you should sign up for, absolutely, no matter what, you accrue points towards discounts. Between being an all-star member and having Alterna rewards, you really benefit a lot. You save a lot of money shopping directly with us as opposed to going to crowdfunding sites and whatever. We don't do platform crowdfunding exclusives. We might do a campaign exclusive for an item, so that means it won't be available once that campaign is over. But anything that's available on Indiegogo or Kickstarter or FundMyComic is going to be also available on the Alterna site. So you don't have to ever worry if you see something on a campaign that it will only be on that. It'll always only be on the Alterna site. But there's going to be a lot of stuff on the Alterna site that's not available on a campaign. Like what AL was asking about before with the advertising. Advertising is only available on the Alterna site. We don't have that on crowdfunding platforms. Let's see. John's Longbox, what's up? Good to see you. We got AL says just signed up for All Star. Can I use it right away? Okay, so I'm gonna get you your code because I gotta send the code. I gotta put your code in there and then I gotta send you your code through email. So I'll do that right after the show. And once you have that email, you can use the codes and do whatever you got to do. You can always, if you've got a membership, like a site membership, not in, well, I mean, now you got an all-star membership, but if you're a member of the site, you can also have things in a cart, save them to your cart, all that kind of stuff. So you could put your cart together if you want, and then don't check out. It should save your cart, and then you can use your code with the items in your cart when it comes time to check out. So you'll get those within, honestly, probably within a half hour after I'm done streaming. I'll just send them to you. Let's see. Cigar Gangster says, Pete, your website only offers a monthly all-star plan. That's not true. I've seen people purchase the annual one. That's strange. Let's see. Let's click on it. Let's select. Oh, no, it's right there. Yeah, all-star annually. Where are you seeing that it's only offering a monthly plan? Let me know. Is that on the phone? Because I checked on the phone and I checked on the site, and both were coming up and both were able to be purchased. So let me know what you're seeing. You might have to refresh or something, maybe. Sometimes the site gets weird and you need to refresh and then it'll load it up. But it should be on there. Because as you could see, I'm looking at it right here, where it's $96 annually or $9 a month. So yeah, hopefully it comes through okay. AL says I bought the annual. Yeah, well, that's strange. So I wonder why Cigar Gangster is only seeing a monthly. Yeah, just refresh it. Hopefully it pops up again. And let me know where you're seeing it on the phone or on your desktop. Let's see. Cigar says, yes, my phone offers monthly, just logged on. That's strange. Yeah, because on my phone, I checked before and it said that it offered both. But I'll double check after the show. And either way, thanks for bringing it to my attention. Hopefully it's just some kind of weird glitch. But yeah, so it should be there. Both plans should be there on the phone and on the desktop. You might have to wait till it loads. Sometime on the phone, the site takes a little longer to load. It's not an ideal scenario, and we can't really build an app. But sometimes it takes a little bit longer to load on the phone. But if not, I'll double check and make sure. So yeah, if you go to the desktop, it should say both annual and mobile. Let's see. So AL says my card is ready and says, yay, thanks. And that she bought the annual. I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, so I'll make sure after the show, I'll check and make sure that the phone version of it also has the annual. It should. That's so strange. Sometimes with the site, I'll notice that I update something and it looks like it took, but it didn't. So thank you guys for letting me know, and I'll make sure that the annual one is offered because that's strange. It should offer that. All right, so we got the All-Star memberships have changed at this point. Again, we decreased the price. All the benefits are the same thing, and we're offering an annual version. If you don't see it on the phone, I'm going to make sure to adjust that. So hopefully you guys do see it as soon as this show ends. What else do we have here? We got, let me see. I wanted to go over something real quick. Some people have been asking about submissions. So we don't accept series submissions, but I am accepting submissions for It Came Out on a Wednesday. And these are short stories between 1 to 10 pages. All right. So all the numbers in between 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1 to 10 pages. So as long as you've got a story that's 10 pages or less, you can submit it. Now, the one thing that I'm seeing coming through is a lot of people are sending in submissions that have nothing to do with short stories. People are sending in like 48-page submissions, 20-something page submissions, series submissions, graphic novel submissions. This is not a good thing to see. It tells me you're not reading the submission guidelines at all, first of all. But it also tells me that you're not even reading when you submit. Like right here, it says page count 1 to 10 pages, and then someone will type in 48. Why? I don't know why people do that. They run through this stuff real fast, but this is only for it came out on a Wednesday. We are not accepting submissions for graphic novels, for series, for one shot, for a mini series. We're just not accepting that anymore. And a big part of that is because of the fact that I'm getting people who are like rushing. They're rushing to send us stuff. They're not paying attention to what they're sending. They've never read Alterna before. And I can always tell when someone sends in a submission and they haven't read one book that we've ever published. It's a very strange thing when you're a publisher for so long. You start to realize that there's some people out there who want to just submit to any publisher whatsoever, regardless of who that publisher is. I respect the drive, but you're putting yourself in a really bad position because you're not saying that it matters where your book gets published. Now, this is a different strategy than if you're saying, I will write or draw or letter or whatever for anyone. You know, your work for hire, you want to send in your art samples to anybody, your writing samples, your lettering. You want to send that to anybody and everybody because, you know, a job's a job and you want to build up your resume and your experience. I 100% understand that. And that's a pretty good strategy because work is work. But when you have a creative project, your comic book that you own, it's a creator owned project. You own that. You want to make sure that the publisher is right for you. How do you know that that publisher is right for you if you've never read anything they've ever put out? Why would you even want that publisher to publish your book if you don't even read anything that they publish? You see where you see what I'm getting at? There's a lot of people out there though that over the years I've dealt with over 15,000 submissions that have come through, and I'd say that the majority of them absolutely have never read an alternative book before. And I can see that based on what they're sending in, based on the quality and the genre and the story and all of that kind of stuff. I can absolutely see that because they'll be sending in something that it looks absolutely nothing at all like anything we'd ever publish or have published before. And I don't mean that in a good way. It's very low level amateur art. The story's all over the place. The lettering is horrible. It's just there's a lot of problems with it. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't get better, but people need to do their due diligence before they're submitting to a publisher, as opposed to just saying, hey, I'll just submit to any publisher. And that's a big problem generally in the indie community, especially of people that are just saying any publisher is fine for me and my book. Not so. You know, and you're putting a lot of time and effort to just kind of submit to everyone everywhere. Where on the Alterna site, you can go there and you can pick up a book, just even a digital book, for 99 cents. Or at this point, hell, you could even sign up for our newsletter and you get 10 free digital comics for doing that. There's no excuse anymore for being completely 100% unfamiliar with anything we put out. So when people are doing that and they're running to the submissions and it's very clear that they've never read anything from us, I'll have conversations sometime with them too, just asking back, hey, you know, what titles do you read from Alterna? And a lot of the time they're at least honest enough to say they don't read anything. But it's always very, very confusing to me as to why you'd want to have a publisher publish your story when you, quite frankly, don't really read anything that they publish and don't care about what they publish. it kind of says a lot about what you view your own story to be like. Yeah, so it's a really bad precedent to set, and it's a bad attitude to have for yourself because it's kind of like a low self-esteem attitude, to be honest. You want to make sure that the publisher is good for you too, and that you like what they put out. So that's my diatribe about submissions. But we don't accept series submissions anymore. Again, it's just for the It Came Out on a Wednesday short story anthology. Let's see. Cole says if you click the ticker at the top of the site, it shows both. But if you click on All Star Exclusives in the drop down and then click Sign Up, it only shows monthly. Oh, that's weird. Wait. If you click All Star Exclusives, well, okay. If you just click All Stars, that's odd that it doesn't. That's strange because both things take you to the same place. Because both of them take you to alternativecomics.com/allstars. How strange is that? All right, I'll look into it. Dr. Mask says, "Hail Pete, what's up, Doc? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here." All right, so going back one more time, let's check up on the way the campaign is doing. We got the Kickstarter for King Cryptid 10 to 13 combined with Blood Moon. And Blood Moon takes place after King Cryptid number 9 and Blood Realm number 18, which are both out right now. So this is at 235 with 7 backers on board. And then we got the FundMyComic, which I believe still has 1 backer. So right now, FundMyComic 1 backer to 7 on Kickstarter. So this is the first day of this campaign. It's kind of like a second chance campaign, more or less, on these platforms. But again, these are also available. These items are available on alternativecomics.com. And King Cryptid 10 to 13 is also still available on Indiegogo. So if you wanted to pick up Indiegogo, go there instead. It's up to you. And that's, of course, over here. If anybody does want to go to Indiegogo, there's the link right there. So on Indiegogo, where it's been, it's at 6,476 with 147 backers, and that's again just Indiegogo. The overall between the Alterna site and Indiegogo is 17,592 with 443 backers, and I'm going to be adding to that total based on the FundMyComic and Kickstarter backer numbers. So one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I believe that might be it for the screen sharing. I got a wireless lav mic, and I put out a short about it. I put out a regular video about it. I'm just kind of testing to see what works best, what gets the most traction. It looks like the most genuine interactions come about when it's not a short, but you get more views on a short. You know what I mean? Like you get more comments. You can link things on a short. I mean, on a regular video, but not on a short. And then you get, at least in my experience, you get more likes on a regular video. I don't know, whatever. Technology. So this is something that I'm using for phone videos now. I got a dedicated mic for regular streaming, a dedicated camera. I don't use a handheld phone or anything like that. But this is the receiver that plugs into the phone, into the USB. Or I think this is, I think that's for maybe an iPhone. I've got an Android, so this is like a USB-C connection. And you just plug that in. And then mine came with 2 mics, but you just have one. And the thing picks up really, really good. Not as good as like a dedicated regular mic. And this thing was cheap. It was only like maybe $6 or something like that. I just wanted to test it out to see how it would work. And it works good enough. It definitely works better than the phone camera microphone. Holy smokes, does the phone microphone suck. But you get a little clip thing there. And you could just like clip it to your shirt and then just do a video with your phone and actually have decent enough audio. So for anyone that was interested in that, I made a video about it on this channel. If you wanted to check it out, go for it. I don't know if I recommend it for doing streaming. If you stream with your phone, it's better than nothing. That's for sure. But if you do that, you're probably going to have to get like headphones or something anyway to close that feedback loop. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, and especially for the money, it seemed to work out really well. So if you're interested in getting something like that, again, I made a video about it. I made a short about it. Check it out. It's a wireless lav mic, lav short for lavalier. I think that's like French for lapel, which is also probably French. But you get to have it just a mic that will work with your phone, and it's got a nice range to it. I think it had like something like a 30-foot range is at least what I tested, and it still came through good. If you get a lot of wireless interference though in your house, you might have a lot of clicking and problems like that might go through depending on how far you get from the receiver on the phone. But something I recommend just in case people are thinking of doing handheld videos or phone videos or whatever. This stuff, it's not, I might be talking about it like it's revelatory or something. I've known about these things, but I didn't really care to look into them. And I'm like, I don't want to often pop on here and do a whole setup and everything and do a video. Sometimes I just want to take a video with the phone, but the audio sucks so much because the microphone's crap that it's kind of a deterrent for me. So I figured, let me try this out. Maybe it'll work better, and I think it does. So it is what it is. But thank you guys for hearing me out on that for a couple minutes. And if it's of interest to you, again, go check out the video that I made about it. You'll really see the big difference in the audio. It just completely drops off a cliff when I use just the phone microphone instead of using the wireless lav. So that's about it. Tomorrow night, I'll be back again, 9 o'clock Eastern on my channel, and I'll be there with John Shell. Critical Reads, as you guys know him. He's the guy behind the Wingless book that I showed off earlier tonight. And again, if you didn't see that, this is a test print because he had ordered a print sampler off of the newsprint campaign a couple months back. And it looks great. It's coming out great. So yeah, so he'll be on the show tomorrow night, and we'll have a conversation about whatever at that point. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We had the Indiegogo, well, not the Indiegogo. We do have an Indiegogo going on, but we got the FundMyComic and Kickstarter campaigns going on for King Cryptid 10 to 13 and Blood Moon. The All-Star memberships, which I'm going to attend to right after this and make sure that annual membership shows up on the mobile app. And then also it came out on a Wednesday, 22 and 23 in the works. October 8th is when that's going to be available for pre-order on the Alterna site and on crowdfunding platforms. And then we've also got 6 books going back to print. Pick those up as soon as you can. And I'll have those also on that October 8th campaign, along with those new issues if it came out on a Wednesday. All right. So, yeah, and Cole says that looks really good. And Cole, did you get my email? I had a chance to read your script there, and you did a good job, man. Good job bringing that all together. Very, very different than before I had a chance to edit it. And you really put that together, man. Came out really nice. So, hope you got the email. If you didn't, you got my praise on the channel. All right, guys. So everyone take it easy. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow night on the Comic Book Radio channel. Until then, everyone have a wonderful night and an even better tomorrow. See you soon.